What's going on, guys? How we doing out there? TGIF, we made it to yet another weekend. Yay! What's going on? You guys doing okay out there? Doing well here, no complaints. Nothing too bad. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see. I got some time on here, but I definitely got distracted by the other projects. The paid and the future game, but I did make a little headway here. It got pretty close. I'll do a quick rundown of what this is looking like now. So once again, third cutscene. If you've been watching the previous streams, you know I've been plugging away on this one, and pretty close. You'll see there's still I need to do some more eye work on her and the ear flaps, but pretty much he's done and she's mostly done. But enough talk. Shut up already. Hit play. There we go.
Look!
Oh, you know what? It's a little weird with that triple in there, isn't it? Let me turn that triple back on. Back to 1. Let's go. Try that again. Here we go.
Look who's here. You are a resilient little piece of fur. But playtime is over.
Sir, you should really be careful of that.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Well, shut it down!
Love to comply, sir, but you just toasted the controls for it.
All hands to escape shuttles.
Well, you really KM'd that one, sir.
There you go. And then she hits the button right there, and then they beam away. So, as you can see, lip sync is pretty much knocked out for her. So we're in good shape there. And now it's just a matter of, I added some eye blinks in there. So, once again, terrible job on my part for the rigging. So, I have to mess with the eyes in 2 different ways. One is just grabbing the joints to actually scale them down to do the blinks, which is just terrible. And then a second pass, if I can find the controls. There you go. And we'll go ahead and turn off her joints. We don't need that. So this will allow me to actually move them around and then do the rotation to help emphasize a little more of the performance there. So let's grab all of these guys. So we've already got the blinks dialed in, and I could maybe add a little more here and there, maybe once I get further with this, but hopefully for the most part that should be knocked out. So this is more or less just sort of like rotations, just to help better sell the expressions.
Look here. You are resilient.
Oh, let's see. So I'm going to shrink the timeline down here, so we just have a little snippet. Alright, I think I will do, like, so she's basically nothing phases her. You know, as you can tell here, he's freaking out, but she's nothing. But I wouldn't mind putting a little bit of the eyebrows in here, just to give it a little sense of a, you know, like a, you know, kind of moment, but then nothing too big. So see if I can split the difference here. I'll start with the eyebrows. Do it like this. So we'll come out of the blink, and let's see what we can get going here. I'm just going to shrink this timeline down even more. Don't need that much. There you go. That should be good. Alright. And let's see, do we want to do that with the actual eyes as well? Let's see how that plays. Yeah. So it's not nearly as of a terrified expression as it is for him. It's a little more subtle for her. Like that. Yep, need to go a little higher here. Balance that out. Right, and it's going to be brief. So, like so. Let's see, how does that look? Yeah, this eye unfortunately just does a better job of expressing the brow, that is. Let's see if I can kind of cheat that down. See. Alright, that's good. What I notice here is I want to bring this in a little closer. Good. And then she's like, yeah, whatever. So then we're just going to let these gradually return back to a normal, indifferent state. Should bring this. Oops. Don't want to mess with a Z. Because Maya sucks. At least for 2D animation. Learn my lesson. Whoa. Oh, did I thought I had the Z. Let's see what I got going on here. Okay, I moved the Z there. Alright, that should do it. Oops. Decimal place off. 3.5. There we go. Okay, so let me just double check. I'll tell you what, the simplest thing is if I just grab some keyframes that I know I already like. Just these guys. And just do the old classic copy paste. Go copy. About, let's see right there. Paste. Yeah, we're good there.
Look.
You know what? I'm gonna, okay, it's good, but I think her reaction should end much quicker than that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and just make it a brief right she sees it, and then right here we'll put it 60. Is that everybody? Yeah. So it's gonna be really brief that she even reacts. Okay, and then let's get the joints turned back on. Turn her controls off for a brief moment. Alright, and I'm going to drop it at 60. I'm going to step on the toes here. Yep, it crosses over. Shoot. Alright, so tell you what, let's move these out of the way for a moment. We'll fix that here in a second. Just make some space. Alright. So let's compress this down, because this blink that I'm borrowing from is actually a long blink. Like so. Okay, good. So then let's make the brows and the rotation of the eyes match. So let's, I'm going to cheat here. Just grab that as a reference. Move that over to the side here, just so I can make sure my frames are matching quickly. Alright. So we started at 60. Then it goes for 3 frames. There, that should match. Yeah, there we go. That's better. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and borrow this again and do an eye blink. When she starts to move forward, copy. Whoa. Oh shoot. Okay, that's that's the wrong thing. Okay, let's go back to the joints. God, what a terrible job of rigging. Those two for a total of 6. Oh, that's right, I moved out of the way. That's right. Move it forward a little bit. Yeah. Let's see what it looks like in context. Yeah, okay, it's okay, but if I'm going to do that, I need to go ahead and add some body motion here, because it's too stilted with just the eyes. So, and once I move the head, I'm probably going to want to add a little bit of motion to the body as well. Alright, and let's copy the keyframes here for the neck, and probably the head as well. That's not too bad. We'll just add a little life to the chest, and I think I can leave it there. I don't think I have to go all the way down the full body and keep adding more motion. Okay, let's see if that's... Yeah. It's subtle, but at least there's a little activity in the body. That's good.
Look.
Okay. So we're good there.
Look who's here. You are a
Open the next
resilient
bit.
little piece of fur. But playtime is over.
Sir, you should really be careful of.
Piece of fur. But playtime is over.
Sir, you should really be careful of.
Yeah, so I think here I want to go ahead and have the eyes get a little more tilted downward, pointy, more angry. So let's add that in there.
You should really be careful of.
And we'll let it follow along with the eyes opening back up and the head looking up. Like so. So you might be able to get away with just the brows. Yeah.
Careful of.
Whoa, why did that pop? That's weird. Am I just doing it too late, maybe? Let's see. And maybe a little too fast.
Careful of.
Yeah, there it is. Alright, compress my timeline again. Like so. There you go.
Of. That.
Self-destruct sequence.
There you go. So I have her like have this brows down,
Self-destruct.
and then when she goes into this, she'll go back to the more neutral brows pose. Get about there. And this is a slow drawn out motion. Alright. Key those. So I'm actually overshooting. Let's see how that looks.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
That's not too bad.
Self-destruct sequence in.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, the overshoot looks well for that.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
What? Oh, shut it down!
Love to comply, sir.
Alright, so here, I think what I want to do is have the eyes get real squinty when she's delivering this line here.
But you just toasted the controls for it.
So, yeah, for this section.
But you just
Let's see, where do I want this to start here?
But you just toasted the.
Do I want to do it with the eye blink or do I want to start that sooner? I'm trying to decide.
Aye, sir. But you just toasted the controls.
I think I'll do it with the eye blink.
But you just toasted.
Let's try that. And I may want to make the eyes more squinty here.
But you just toasted the
Whoa. Again with the pop. Why is it doing that?
You just toasted the.
That's so weird. Oh, there's why. Alright, let's go back in and there. Clean that up. That explains
You
the
just
pop-up.
toasted the controls for it.
Alright, so then let's do that. Let's make the eyes all squinty. This is as close as she seems to get, like, annoyed, really pissed.
Just toast.
There you go. That's the look you don't want to get from your significant other right there.
Toasted.
So let's go.
Just toasted the control.
Alright, so then what we're going to do is keep this and then let her emphasize controls.
Control.
It's actually here. Let me delete that one. Copy this over to here.
Control.
Okay, so, and then we go into blink, there.
But you just toasted the controls.
Oh, a little too much there. A little too much. A little too squinty. I think if I go ahead and do it like partially and then tilt the eyes, that should make it work.
Controls.
Let's see.
You just toasted the controls for it.
Yeah, okay, I like the little, when she says controls and the eyes do the little bounce. That's working, but let's go ahead and get some rotation so it doesn't suck. And we got no keyframes around here anywhere. So we'll start with that. And I think what I'll do is bring the eyebrow down like that. And the same for here. Like that. Alright, so I need to keep that position in the same place, but I don't want to change the rotation. So I'll tell you what, I'll do it this way. Copy that value. There you go, and then put that rotation back on it. Same thing for this guy. There you go.
You just toasted the
Oh. What for the eye pop here? Okay. Yeah.
You just toasted the controls for it.
Let's see, do I want to keep this eyebrows down?
All hands to escape shuttle.
No.
Just toasted the controls for it.
Nope, I'll release it here.
For
Bring that down. Bring this one down. Do the same for the eyes. Let me just go ahead and add keys to all these guys. Right there. That should be good. Alright, grab these guys one more time. And let's find where we got it. The base pose. Looks like it's right there. Copy those keys.
Did the controls for it.
Yeah, she's kind of still she's kind of scary squinty even when she's in her natural pose, so it's kind of funny. Alright.
But you just toasted the controls for it.
All hands to escape shuttles.
Well, you really can't. Well,
Alright, definitely want to do an eye emphasis here. That's a natural. So grab the joints here. Grab the eyes and the brows. Oops. Yep. Put it here. A little anticipation. So,
well, you really KM'd. You're really.
Alright, and I definitely want to have the brows come down for this when she's delivering that final tweak, that final insult.
Well, you're.
Alright, so for this, yeah, I'll leave the joints alone for a moment. So let's turn them off, get the controls back on. Oops. There we go.
You're really. Well, you're really.
Alright, so I'm doing 3 keys here, one for the bass to start with, and then what I'm going to do is have it go into it and kind of settle. So, yeah. Alright, let's do that for the other side.
Well, you really KM'd out.
Ooh, way too slow. Poses are good. Timing is terrible.
You really K. Well, you really. You're. You're. K. Well, you really KM. Well, you really KM'd that one, sir.
Alright, that feels natural. The brows are going to go in when she
Well,
leans.
you really KM'd that one, sir. That one, sir.
Yeah, I wish I'd flip those so I could do them at the same time.
KM'd that one, sir.
There we go. Alright. Hit Control Fs. I haven't saved recently. You know what? I'm not liking that as much now. You know, I don't know. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try and actually keep one brow up. Because just both of them down just doesn't look right on her. So let's do a little experimentation here. Alright. Obviously, you're going to have to rotate the eye to match that. No. Yeah, okay. No, it just doesn't work for her character, I don't think. So, let's go ahead and just make both of them go that direction. Alright. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Look who's...
Okay.
Look who's here. You are a resilient little piece of fur. But playtime is over.
Sir, you should really be careful of that.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Well, shut it down!
Love to comply, sir, but you just toasted the controls for it.
All hands to escape shuttles.
Well, you really KM'd that one, sir.
She hits it and they fade out. Okay, cool. I think we're good there. I think the one thing I want to do now is add ear motion, and then we'll move right along. So let's come back out here. It's somewhere in here. There it is. Alright, and I got some little leftover errant keys in here. Go ahead and nuke those. Alright, so go ahead and mute the audio. Don't have to listen to dialogue for ear flaps. And let me compress the timeline. Like so. Alright, head comes back, so the ear naturally would have a little drag. Like that. Come down. Yeah. Let's start it right here. Let it come down like that. Come a little bit more forward, and then start the down motion. that. Yep. Alright. Let's put a little life in the ear here. Start about there. Up. It's gonna come back down again. Just a little further just to settle. Right here. Let's see, do I want to keep going up here? Not sure. We'll see what it looks like in motion. Because she's still backpedaling and dropping, so I think the ear would still go up even higher here. Let's see how that works. Nope. Right here, and then it would start to come back down. And settle like that. Yeah, that's better. Okay. She dips down, so the ear will drag just a smidge. She raises up, ear comes down. Killer Tofu, what up, buddy? How's it going, man? Keep Penny happy. Good luck, man. Nice, there you go. Way to show us how it's done. It's going well, man. Yourself? Looking forward to the weekend, although I'll probably just be working a bunch more. What's up with you? Yeah? Any big plans for the weekend? I've tried that on for size. Let's see. Okay, so it comes up, and I'm going to come back down with it. Try and get a real night of sleep. Yeah. Is that just? Is that like work stuff that's keeping you from getting a full night, or is it just other stuff, just not able to, or is it other crap that's keeping you too busy? Work all day, hard all night. Oh, there you go. A man after my own heart. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been doing as well. You know, this is my own company, so I don't get paid until the game makes money. So I almost kind of consider this the hobby sometimes. But then I got the freelance animation work, which I do at night, kind of the same thing. The one I hinted at before, which is going really well, I hope. I got like the first pass. I'm going to finish up hopefully tonight, ship it out. And fingers crossed, because they gave me way too much leadway on this shot. You know, so I'm pushing it in certain ways, and we'll see. They'll either hopefully really like it, or they say it sucks and totally change it. And hoping for the former, not the latter. Yep, that's the one. Yeah, well, that's the one shot that I'm working on. Yeah, I have that other project too that would not be just a shot. It would be a whole bunch of stuff. But that one I'm still waiting on. Unfortunately, the longer it's pending, the more I kind of get the feeling that it may not happen for me. But you know, until I get an official no, it ain't happening, I'm still hoping that might kick in as well. But we'll see. And I mean, that's the nature of the world of VFX too. I mean, it's not like anything personal. Usually not personal, but I mean, it could be one of those things that there was one that I talked about before, right? That I thought I had, and then the client ended up just tossing in the trash can and saying, no, we're not going to do it after all. You know, and that was a bummer. That would have been a fun one to work on, but and once that actually comes out, hits the air, I'll take a look and see if they just skipped it altogether, or if they just went with someone else, and I'll tell you about it once that actually comes out. But sometimes they go away, sometimes you get them. Let's see, do I want to do a subtle settle here? Yep, nope, you can't win them all. So, so the work stuff, is that also art related, or is it just the art is your own stuff at night? Let's see, let's come like that. Got it. So you do the IT stuff by day, and the art at night. That's awesome, man. That's cool. I don't know, if you might find it, tell me if you think this is true. It might be a little easier to have the motivation to do it, just because the IT stuff is such a radically different thing. It's very, I mean, obviously mathematical, that kind of stuff, whereas the art is more the creative. So I think a lot of my friends is challenged to like work on like VFX all day and then go home and want to work on their own stuff, more like CG stuff at night. But me, just because I got so much crap I want to do, I keep pushing on. But I don't know if that's a case for you. It's kind of like you feel like you're totally changing gears, so it's more motivation to want to do that. Alright, so we'll go 4 frames here. Yeah, it's more relaxing. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you know, and that's one thing I keep reiterating, was the fact that, of course, because it's a hobby. Yeah, it's, you know, if I didn't have the freelance animation work, you know, always kind of popping up from time to time, and I had to rely solely on the game dev revenue to keep the bills paid, then yeah, I would be exponentially more stressed for sure. But you know, now because I know I have like the occasional freelance job to subsidize, I can take the id approach and just kind of say, yeah, I deliver the game when it's done, you know. Okay. Okay, good there. Hit Control S. I haven't saved lately. Do it like that. Alright, so really come up higher here, like that. Yeah, so she's saying, love to comply, sir. Alright, let's check that bit out. Yeah. That's working. So for the most part, the ear just sort of counters whatever the head is doing. And just the idea is that it drags behind. So it kind of mimics the head motion, but just sort of in a delayed fashion. So let's come over here. You know, actually I was going down there. I think it should come back up. Ooh, not that much. Too much. Let's check this out. Oh, that's a bit too wiggly here. Tried that. That's kind of popping a little bit. Right in here. Right there. That should be better. Oop, there's still a hit. Head is just doing a lot of back and forth there. Because it's tilting back and forth, it's sort of like I have to counter animate. so that's okay. Alright, see if that's smoothed out a bit. Yeah, I think part of it is also because I'm not keying off of her head keyframes, so that's why it's not quite as smooth as it could be, but I think it's good enough once it's in motion. Alright, I got one final bit here. Check that little bit. Yep. There, almost done with this. Settle there. Ooh. Let's come up sooner here. Just a little settling in here. Yeah. And then she presses the button and we're up. Cool. Alright, let's do the other ear. And I think we're pretty much done with messing with the third scene. Woohoo. And for this one, I tend to do less anyways. Just because any kind of tilt downward is going to go like invisible behind the head anyways. So this one I'm a little more limited. And then if it goes too high up, she starts looking like a cat shark alien thing three-eyed cat shark, whatever the hell that is. So, yeah, this one tends to be a lot more subtle. Like that. Put some life here. Check that out. Yeah. Yeah, you can see how the head kind of leads and then the ear just sort of like follows and like just lagging behind just a little bit. It's that little secondary motion that kind of helps sell the whole performance, I think. A little bit of bounce here, maybe. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so this one will definitely come up much higher. One little final bounce right at the end. Yeah, add that little last wiggle. Here, definitely want to go flat. And then she stops abruptly, so of course that would, tell you what I'd do. Knock that to 4 frames. And let it settle. Start to come back down. See if that works or not. It's a little late. Yeah, there you go. I think it was happening just a little too after the fact. But I think we're all good now. Yep. Hit Control S again. Haven't saved recently. An advertisement? Wow. But see, that's how I make the big bucks, right? I think after all this time, collectively, I think it said I made a whole dime. So there you go, man. This is definitely living the highlight for sure there. Yeah, you managed to make it just when I'm about wrapping up. 1 minute ad for about 2 minutes worth of streaming. Actually, I'm just going to finish up the ear here, so I got a few more minutes to go. But, yeah, catch me at the end. Lucini, what's going on, man? What's going on with you? I know you're deep in the nighttime already, but... yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, they're not skippable, and they just kind of take over. Never made me buy that cost more than $1. Yeah, and then I mean it's not like it's any revenue for me, but I mean literally 10 cents, and all the time I've been doing all this, so yeah, whatever money they're making, it's not trickling down to me. Oh, you get it for less than $1. So that's our target audience. Is that what they're trying to say? We're all cheapskates. All right. Yeah, everything says. It is kind of creepy, right? When the ads like nail you. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious when you surf for something. What I was getting lots of ads for like a weed and feed kind of thing, because my backyard definitely needs some attention. I was doing some searches for that, and you know, and I guess it was funny too, is sort of the proverbial horse out of the barn, because I'll get these ads, right, going, hey, you want to buy this weed and feed for your lawn? It's kind of like, I bought a bag 2 weeks ago. I'm pretty much good now. Thanks. You know, thanks for the advertising, but I'm already all stocked up. On the Eloise game dev stream. Oh yeah? That's cool. So Killer Tofu, are you like you part of that stream, or just on the chat part, or? Few dev streams, yeah. Well, I'm flattered. I'm flattered to be a part of your collection. All right. Yes, we're getting there. Halfway through. So, just last component here is the this back ear. That's pretty much all I have left. Unless I see something that bugs me. But should be just about done with this cutscene. What do you hate most about Twitch ads? Yeah, they take over the whole stream. Yeah, that's true. That's the first one we made this week. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it though. Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's the catch with the live stream, right? You know, I mean, the choices are either it just cuts in and you miss that part, or you're delayed, right? So if you type in a chat, you know, it's going to be like exponentially out of sync, right? Yeah, I guess if they wanted to be cool about it, they could do something where, whoop whoop, hey, look at that. Whoop whoop, thanks for the follow, man. Welcome, welcome. Maybe they did something like, you know, like picture-in-picture kind of thing, right? So it doesn't take up the whole screen, just part of it, right? And they drop in occasionally with ads, but not, it has to be, right? Freeze. Yeah, hey, we know you want, yeah, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but first you gotta watch this ad. Yeah. But no, I mean, I guess, you know, if ads came in, like quarter screen or something like that, you know, periodically, without taking over the whole thing. But I'm sure revenue-wise, that's like nothing compared to like having to watch the full ad, right? Even if you pay money, you only stop getting ads for one. Oh, really? Is that the way it works? So even if you pony up the cash, you just got to choose who that's gonna like benefit, or which stream is gonna. Okay. And 5 get to ones, but which any other streams you get ads. Wow, that is shocking actually. It's kind of like, yeah, we appreciate you paying us, but you know, hey, we'll ignore one, but yeah, we gotta like do some of those, right? And let it come down for this part. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna smash it down the whole way, I think. Yeah. 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 Well, now that we got your cash, that's great, but we're still gonna show you ads. I mean, we like your cash, but yeah. Let's see, is that okay? It's coming up a little late here.
We almost got him. Look, we almost got him. He's going down.
Is the $9 a month for Twitch Turbo? Oh, is that okay? Is that the magic formula? If you're willing to pay that much cash, then they'll leave you alone for the ads. Wow, that kind of adds up, though. I mean, that's like streaming like TV shows kind of prices there.
Oh, that was cheap. He was cheesing me.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Get YouTube Music and watch TV shows for the same. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, at this point, what's my collection now? I got Netflix, Amazon, Hulu because they had a big sale on that. You don't pay $5 to HBO so I can get Game of Thrones. Yeah, and I got them at Paramount Plus. They suckered me, right? Excuse me. Paramount Plus had the big deal saying that, you know, hey, you know, we're CBS All Access right now, right? Tell you what, pay us for a whole year in advance for half price, and then you'll get Paramount Plus when we switch over. Well, okay, what is Paramount Plus going to add to what already is there for CBS? Oh, well, we'll tell you after you pay, right? But you have to pay by the, what was it, the 4th, I think? You have to pay by the 4th, right? And the 5th, we're going to go Paramount Plus and launch it all, right? You know, you do that, and then, okay, fine, right? I pull the trigger, and the 5th comes, and they literally added like 3 movies, right? Wait, okay, that's it? You're going to add more next week? No, we just added the 3, that's good. What the hell? Why am I paying $50 for that, you know? You pay $100 a month for cable and still get ads? Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had actually cable television. You know, between just the services and like the over-the-air antenna stuff, you know, I got enough to keep myself entertained. German streaming site, and they were like, subscribe if you want to cancel, and you got to do it 14 days before you expire, or else we'll charge you again. Jeez. Wow, that's friendly. You can't cancel because of wife and the mother-in-law. Got it. Okay, I understand that. Yeah. Well, that was the whole thing too, like for Paramount Plus, because you had like a 1-week free trial, which put me like, you know, what was it? We were trying to binge Star Trek Discovery, right, in that time frame, and yeah, I told my wife, it's kind of like, you know what? I just looked at all the catalog, and there's just really there's not much there, right? It's kind of crappy. So I'm thinking about actually just, saying thanks but no thanks and canceling it and not getting charged for that a whole year, right? And then my wife was like, but no, we haven't watched all the Star Trek stuff yet. And it's kind of like, there's more coming. And it's like, yeah, but I have no idea when it's going to come, right? It may not be for forever, right? So then I reluctantly let it go, right? So I got charged. And then we started watching Star Trek stuff, and I brought it up, and I showed like the list of all the stuff that was there, and her reaction was great. She was like, "That's it? That kind of sucks." It's like, that was my point. yeah, a little late now, but yeah, yeah, it kind of sucks. And they didn't. Let's see, they didn't have a cancel sub button for a few days. Oh, brilliant! Oh, that's great. Yeah, where's the button? Oh, the cancel button will come up in a couple days after we bill you. Bet you can do is get Netflix and a VPN. Yeah. It's the only way other than pirating. Yeah. Yeah, Disney Plus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's funny. It's kind of like, yeah, thanks for paying us whatever Disney is these days. $7 a month. That's great. And, oh, we got these great movies coming. That'll be $30 more. That was like Mulan. My wife was big on seeing Mulan, and I was kind of going, we could just wait for the Redbox rental, wait a couple months and we'll rent it for like $3 or $2 for Blu-ray. So we waited, right? Rented it, and then we watched it. My wife was like, yeah, I'm glad we waited. You watch that, you pay $30 for it, you get done, you're kind of like, $2, right? If the movie sucks, you kind of go, yeah, it's $2, right? But if you paid $30 to see that, and you come out and you're kind of going, that kind of sucked, then you feel totally ripped off. And I mean, Disney, just because of the very nature of the fact they've bought virtually everything out there, they at least have some decent kind of content, right? I mean, exponentially more than what Paramount's given me. They can't sustain themselves on the original content and a good price. Netflix has 4 options. Yeah, others have multiples, and they raise prices, and they're losing older content because of licensing. Yeah, and because there's so many other avenues now, because now they can... The ones that own the product are able to demand higher prices because you got all that competition, right? And new streaming services, yeah. No, I totally agree. It's kind of funny because you see a show like Amazon will say, watch it by the 30th, right? And it leaves. And then my question is, okay, where did it go to, right? And then I'll immediately, after it drops off that one, I'll go look at the other ones and find out who it moved to. It's not like it is no longer streaming somewhere. It's just you have to find out where it moved to, where it migrated. But I mean, I had no major complaints. I mean, as you mentioned before, Kilo Tofu was talking about the fact that $100 for cable, right? So if I'm paying all my streaming combined is like $25 for 3 or 4 different avenues combined, yeah, I'm okay with that, and I find enough content to keep me happy. Sometimes more than others. Alright, so let that bounce here and come back up. Like so. Alright, and then she does the bit here. Make like a 7-day subscription, $3 for a yearly option. Yeah, I think they're afraid that too many people take them up on that idea, right? I mean, I think that they can at least get a month out of you, right? $15 or something. But if that was the case, you could just turn it off for a week at a time for a higher price. I think almost everyone would probably do that. I don't know if that would be profitable for them or not. Once Upon a Time in the West. Oh, really? Oh, because I was telling you about that, right? I'd loan you my Blu-ray, but I don't think we're in quite walking distance. That's a fantastic question. Let's see. And I can look, and I'm able to find it on a streaming service, but it may be regionally based too. It's funny because we have a local channel here on the over the air that it's called Grit, and they play nothing but westerns all the time, and they had it on there recently, right? And it just, as soon as I saw Charles Bronson on the screen, I was kind of like, oh, there it is. I don't think everyone would do it. Some want only a few services. Yeah, I mean, and I think, I mean, I was tempted, and I did the math, right? And that was the other reason why I kind of let the Paramount go, because I decided the amount of time it would take us to binge through at least Star Trek Discovery, and then, whatever else we may come across if they release new content in the Star Trek world. Then that was actually almost the same price as the $50 for the year, which is still half price, right? I would never renew. I got to make sure that I put like a Google Calendar notification to tell me to cancel the subscription so I don't get renewed for $100 for another year. Let's see. Check IMDb. Oh yeah. So it's so Killer Tofu, for me at least, it's actually available. Once Upon a Time in the West is available on Amazon Prime. There you go. Yep. Nope. Looks like we're shy a horse. oh God, I love this movie so much. Yeah. So, but once again, that's true for me here in the U.S. I'm not sure how far that reaches out, because some of that stuff is region-based, which it just makes it even more confusing. But, yeah. If it's there, absolutely. Such a great... yes, I live south of the famous or infamous, depending on your point of view, Las Vegas Strip. I live in an area called Enterprise, which is just... I love that. It's just so appropriate. I live in the Enterprise working on a Tribble game, a Star Trek-based Tribble game. So there's just something appropriate about that. Oh, okay. You're saying, oh, how did I not know that? Did I forget that? I'm sorry. Sweet, okay. Well then, yeah, you're golden. I had to pay for the cassette, and nowadays it's digital, but the prices stay the same or even higher. Yeah, and I know that DVD and Blu-ray purchases are non-existent now. Oh, you didn't tell me? Okay, okay, good. You reach a certain age, man, and the details start slipping away. So I wasn't sure if it's me just being stupid there. But yeah, Lucchini. I still like to get Blu-rays if possible, but DVDs if it's like TV series collections, because it's nice that they are streaming, but you never know. Like you were talking about before, you never know when they're going to disappear. So I have a bunch of shows that I'm really crazy about that I will archive or at least hang on to on DVD or Blu-ray. And it's one of those things that if I tell someone about it, it's kind of like, have you ever seen this? And they go like, yeah, I've never heard of it before. And it's kind of like, okay, I got to loan you this, All right. So, Killer Tofu, there you go. So now you have yourself some homework to find the time to watch Once Upon a Time in the West, And as I mentioned too, I mean, the wife is not a Western fan, but she really actually enjoyed that one. Sat through the whole thing. Maybe that's just because that was early on. You didn't? I can't believe. Yeah, the first thing I do is I don't even bother Amazon. I go to IMDb and just sort of like see if there's any reference to it from there. But because that's all controlled, right? IMDb is sort of like owned by Amazon, right? So it's not like it used to be. It seems like you're able to find different resources there, but now it's sort of like, if it's not on Amazon, IMDb will go, yeah, it doesn't exist. Well, maybe Netflix has it. No, it doesn't exist. You jerk. We're Streammates, okay, who is streaming it, and it shows you where you can find it. Oh, that's brilliant. You know what? That's such a... I can't believe there's not like a default website that's super famous for just that, right? Because IMDb, like I said, it's pointless now, you know, because if it's not Amazon, it's crap, right? So you ain't gonna watch it if, you know, at least we're not gonna tell you where to watch it. But yeah, I'm jealous of that. And we may have something that's available to us. I just might not be aware of it. Like, come up. Back down. Just about to wrap up. Yep. Just watch. Oh, sweet. Thank you. 20 minutes later. Busted. Yeah, well, you know, because I thought it was almost done too, right? I thought I didn't realize I still had a bigger chunk of the ear, and this is literally the last thing to deal with. But you know what? You're right. You're right. I should just call it a day. But thankfully, this is the last bit to handle. And then that means next week you will see me working on the fourth and final cutscene. So there'll be lots of spoilers in there, but you know, you guys won't mind, I'm sure. Yeah, plus we distract you. Yeah, but enjoyably so. Absolutely enjoy the conversations for sure. It's an unpaid task that you do for love and the pleasure of totally screwing up my productivity. Let's see. All right. So I haven't even played this lately. Yeah, absolutely. If you'd like to. Okay, I gotta check out the Just Watch thing too. Yeah, send me a link just so it's not anything that get me in trouble. Oh, well played, sir. Well played. Ain't much, but it's honest work. That's great. All right. Let me check out. Yeah, Just Watch. There you go. Oh, there. Okay, and so it's a search tool and also a recommendation tool. Double win. I love it. Thank you for that, man. Okay, I guess I could have Googled it and probably found it, but I'm just so used to having literally like 3 or 4 tabs open, and I just do the searches on all of them, but that'll definitely save me time. Just Watch. That's cool. Ooh, it should bounce here. Like that. Thing is, though, the German site just sounds like the tool exactly used for that. Oh, yeah? Streaming service. Yeah, well, it kind of looked like it, right? But it sounds like it's more of a recommendation thing. I did just sort of glance. All your streaming services in one... Oh, one app. Okay, so... Let's see. One search to rule them all. Okay, so yeah, if it can't do it in the browser, then it's kind of dead to me. But if it's one of those things that, okay, so if we go like time in the Westy. Click on that, and it should say, "Hey, there it is." Sweet. Instant. There you go. Cool. Just watch. That's my new favorite. My new favorite website right there. Just watch. Yeah. Yeah. Me as well. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic find. Thank you so much for sharing, man. Because I'll do that. There'll be like a movie or something like that I'll talk about, and it's kind of like, you know, when it's my movie choice on that extreme rarity, right? I would love to be able to see where I could find it. All right. Hey, we're at the end here. This is the last bit. Alright, tell you what, I'll make a deal with you guys. I will finish this, but actually I could use a restroom break. I can duck out for a second. Let me duck out, and if it's cool with you guys, if you want to stick around, I will actually stick around for a little longer. I'm sure it'll piss off Penny, but, you know, she can wait. It'll be fine. So, hang tight, guys. I'll be back in just a second, and I'll hang a little later today. It's Friday, what the hell? Hang on, I'll be right back. Alright, whoops. There you go. I'm back. So, it's Friday. Oh no! Wow, that's a blast from the past, right? Her 15 minutes of fame came and went. You can save what you have watched and make a list or even multiple lists. Oh, that's interesting. I know, like, the websites have, like, the history, right? You can go back and look at all the stuff you watch, but, yeah. Oh, so I was just gonna say, have you ever had a dog stare at you in the face and just look at you and go, WTF? Wait, it's this time. Where are you going? Why are you going back in the room? What? You're human. Can't you tell time? It's time. With the two girls singing about having it hard being beautiful. No, I have not, and something tells me I could live my life happy without having to watch that one. I just get the feeling that would just make me really want to just like hurt them. Yeah. I'll do it later, because what would suck is like if like the Twitch stream gets like the block on it for something that crappy. You know, if I'm gonna suffer getting blocked, I want it to be for something not pathetically embarrassing. So yeah, you can send me a link and I'll check it out afterwards. But you know, I just, that would suck. You know, it's not like I'm streaming Lord of the Rings or something, right? What was it? Oh, so I was watching what was it? Something I'll do, because I only take like half-hour breaks for meals usually when I'm working away. So if I do movies, I end up like watching a movie over several days, because I just kind of do them in 30-minute blocks. But the one I'm watching right now is interesting. It just came on, I guess it's Hulu. It was on there. I don't know if it's on any other ones. Hey, you know what? We could do it this way. I can tell you now. Just watch. Okay, it's called Boss Level. There you go. Brand new movie. So, yeah, it's only on Hulu. Okay. It's basically Groundhog Day meets lots of over-the-top gory violence with a twisted sense of humor. Okay, there's the link for... Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. But like I said, I'm not going to get my stupid stream blocked for something that's going to just make me cringe anyways. But this is sort of like a guilty pleasure, Boss Level. It's way over the top, violence, silly, and the whole Groundhog Day kind of repetition bit. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not anything magical, but it's pretty stupid entertainment. Yeah, good eye. Yeah, that is definitely him. I had to look it up. It's one of the things I knew his face, but I couldn't remember from where. But I'll come back here. Oops. Yeah, it was in the elevator. Yeah. Yeah. Frank Grillo. It's fun. I think basically also I'll give it 1 star just because they obviously filmed it in Atlanta. I know for a fact because part of it takes place at underground Atlanta. So as someone that grew up in that part of the world, it's kind of fun just to sort of kind of like go, oh yeah, hey, I recognize all that stuff. And since Georgia has now turned into the new Hollywood, right? Or as they call it, Yollywood rather. That is Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson has become the new ubiquitous villain. I mean, gee, he doesn't scream bad guy there at all, does he? But yeah, he's sort of become like the go-to bad guy now, right? I mean, it's sort of like he had his run in real life, and now is sort of like leaned into the concept of, I'll just play villains from now on. You know, they always get the better dialogue anyway, so why not, right? Yeah, and the little Michelle Yeoh action there. So that's probably enough to get my wife to want to watch it. Although the action stuff she likes anyways. And Naomi Watts, who's looking pretty different these days, to be quite honest. I don't like him. I feel like supporting a racist when I see stuff from him. Yeah, he definitely was running his mouth a bit, wasn't he? Yeah, and I mean, he definitely got himself blackballed for many years there. But, yeah, and so, I mean, he gets work now, but if you look at what he's doing, I mean, it's either really fringe kind of stuff, or, like I said, just playing the evil villain type guy. But yeah, I mean, there's no more Lethal Weapon style, high profile, what women want kind of movie roles for him in the future for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to oversell it. The movie's like okay, stupid fun. Stepdad or something with Will Ferrell and the other racist guy. Who's the other racist guy? And stepdad? Let's see. Who's the other racist? Nope, wrong one. What's it called? Stepdad? Oh, Mark Wahlberg? Oh yeah, was he? Okay, I didn't follow that. Did he run his mouth too? Oh really? Okay, I was unaware of that one. Mr. Calvin Klein? Ugh. I was not aware of that. What? Really? When was this? Was this recent, or is this something like a long time ago? Because I have no recollection of this. I'm not a big... Yeah, I said it before. I'm not a Hollywood follower by any stretch of the imagination. Live in Hollywood for 12 years, right? Where you rub elbows with celebrities and you come across them in daily life, and yeah, you get over that pretty damn fast. When he was younger, okay. Back in his Calvin Klein days, that's probably too far back. He didn't really apologize? Oh, God. But, I mean, is that part of his bad boy image kind of stuff, or what? Yeah, I think he's an exceptionally lucky individual. Just in the sense that he made this transition and keeps getting roles. Because, to be honest, I never thought he was... I don't want to lose an eye to him, so I won't say this to his face. But I don't think he has range, right? He plays that same character, right? That kind of slightly doofus type character. But, I mean, he keeps getting them. Wikipedia? Okay. It's probably going to depress me now. Legal issues. I like it's not singular, right? It's not legal issue, it's issues. Had a whole section with legal issues. He did a whole lot of racist. Really? Well, that's disappointing. Friends chased after 3 black children. Really? Wow. Fractured the jaw of his neighbor. Wow. Requesting a pardon for conviction. Well, okay, he got the statement forgiving him. Ugh. Difficult. Let's see. Said he regretted his attempt to obtain a pardon. Failed to answer a request from the pardon board as to whether he wanted to remain open. Well, that's depressing, but not shocking, I guess. I mean, if you're saying I think it's racist. He felt bad even... Oh, that one I'm not even aware of either. We almost did. Does all that and nobody cares. I guess it's... the differentiation there is because Marky Mark has always been the bad boy, right? You know, ever since the rapper Kevin Kline era, right? So for him, I guess it's sort of like the idea of he gets a little more slack because, we expect that behavior, right, from someone like that, right? But Liam Neeson, because he's sort of like our go-to, our new modern day action hero, which is such a strange second act for him. But I'm not even familiar with what he's guilty of there before, but yeah, I mean, it's sad to see, but not totally shocked. I mean, the amount of protection and sort of like clearance that a celebrity has, at least a successful one, is astounding, right? And I mean, things have changed now, right? I mean, that's sort of the fascinating thing is the fact that, thanks to the Me Too movement and things of that ilk, there's behavior that obviously or is completely, it should be completely off the table, right? But there's stuff that comes back from ages ago, right? And people pointed out it's almost like their defense is, well, yeah, but it was cool back then, right? It was permissible back then, you know? And it's just, it's this strange mindset of stuff that was, I mean, like, what's his face? Miramax. Why am I blanking on him? But I mean, it's like not like a big discovery that he had this casting couch, because that's the worst kept secret in decades. But you know, we just had a social change that made that no longer tolerated, right? You know. Anyway. Oh, here we go. Someone Liam Neeson knew very well. Remember, pre-2000s was so mad he was hanging around a bar. He didn't, and okay, you know what? Okay, I do vaguely remember that now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's exceptionally different than good old Marky Mark's behavior, for sure. But, I mean, it's, you know, definitely, like I said, I mean, I had well over a decade worth of life in Hollywood. And it is amazing what was permissible for those of the elite crew, basically the above the line talent, right? I was always a below the line talent as just being a little VFX cog, but yeah. And yeah, I mean, I can literally count on my fingers the number of industry high profile ones that were yeah, Harvey Weinstein, thank you, that were really good people through and through, you know. But I mean I kind of understand it, because you know, if you have carte blanche, right, if you have whatever you want, right, with no pushback or ramifications, and it's up to you to be a good person by your own devices, I can see why a lot of people just sort of like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying, you know, to quote Chris Rock, I'm not saying he's right, but I can understand, you know, I mean, you have to totally abide by your own behaviors, knowing that there's no consequences, right? Yeah, so yeah, Weinstein, yeah, Harvey Weinstein, about the casting couch. Yeah. Yeah, and called him out. Yeah, and it was it was Pharaoh. It's Pharaoh's. Oh shoot, why am I blanking on his name? That wrote the article that became so famous, right? And sort of like put a spotlight on that. You're close to finishing your first Udemy Blender course. Oh, sweet, congrats, man! And then starting another one specifically for character creation. I'm having a blast learning 3D modeling. That's awesome, man. Congrats on that. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, so that you're starting fresh, right? You're not coming from another 3D package, I believe, right? I think actually coming at Blender fresh is probably a better thing than coming from Maya or something like that, because you have preconceived notions of the behaviors of these programs, where Blender, excuse me, completely charts its own course, right? So I think that's actually a better thing to a degree. Yeah, fool around with it for a month. Yeah. But it was not as good. Yeah, it sounds like 2.8 was the dividing line, right? 2.8 is when they said, you know, we should really suck less, right? You know, we're starting to get popular, so maybe we should actually be a little more respectable. But, yeah, I don't know if I can find it. But, see if I can. Face. Yeah, here you go. So there's a very famous CG artist named Chris Jones, who was a big Lightwave user guy. Yay, Lightwave! Hey, where'd you go? But he switched to Blender, and this is something he just posted. This is done in Blender. I mean, look at that. I mean, it even has like little facial hairs coming out, right? So you have like that. I mean, you just see like little facial hairs coming off the edges there. Oh, where like I should it's quite rough sometimes. Yeah. Yep. 2.8. So, but I mean, look at that. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's really cool. Oh, okay, that's a little too close at that point. But yeah, that's actually done in Blender. So that's it. Chris Jones, just absolutely this amazingly talented guy, and he just posted that one. 318. He posted it yesterday. It's brand new. The MetaHuman, I did. The one with the are you talking about the one with the sliders and the stuff to be able to adjust the different things? Yeah, it's really fascinating. Somebody posted a picture of that. It was so funny. They had MetaHuman comes out, right? And all the Indie Gamer games look like this, and it has like the picture of one of those great looking humans, but with like all the background graphics are like just crappy 8-bit, just poorly textured environment, you know. For how something is done in Blender specifically. Yeah, I did pick up a couple of Blender tutorials as well. For me, I would not bother trying to learn modeling. Maybe rendering, but for me, animation. I would like to play in the animation world on Blender, I think, just as a potential option in the future, when I can find the time. Make it, yeah, a realistic character in a matter of minutes. Yep. Yeah. It'd be exciting. My first question would be, of course, is it a tool that you're only allowed to use for Unreal, right? You know, because obviously, I'm sure there'd be no problem with exporting it out as an FBX, right? At which point you could drop it into any other whatever you want. So I don't know if they have, you know, and I wouldn't blame them, right? If they've, I mean, if they've created this tool, right, and they've putting up all the cash to create it, I could understand them going, yeah, this is a Unreal only specific kind of tool. Oh, there you go. At a hobby level for 15 years. Sweet. But you already know Maya, which is, I think, better than Blender. It is, but it's a lot more expensive, right? Yeah. On and off, though. It still counts. Yeah, it still counts. Let's see. You know, and I guess part of it is also the idea of, you know, if I expand my ranks for the next project, which is going to be a point-and-click graphic adventure game with a ton of animation, and if I'm going to actually, if I get some financing, if I can get some backing for it, you know, then it's a consideration of, do I have to worry about getting my licenses for any fellow animators, or if I could make Blender a viable option, right, then that whole complication goes away. Oh, speaking of that, so yeah, so I did mention that the next game, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, the next game is going to be a point-and-click adventure game, right? But I just noticed this. So I'm going back and trying to find some old point-and-click adventure games just to brush up, because I have like a list of point-and-click games that I absolutely love, right? Full Throttle, by the way, #1, absolutely one of my personal favorite for point-and-click adventure game, I just worship at the altar of Full Throttle. That game is just so masterfully created, right? And it was like the early days of the CD-ROM, so I just had so much more content on it, you know, and that kind of stuff. But anyways, I just got this email today from Humble Bundle, and is it Daedalic? Data. I never could pronounce the name right. Daedalic. These guys, moving right along. They have a ton of point-and-click adventure games available for the whopping $13 price, which is just fantastic. Unfortunately, I own several of these already. Silence, actually, I did play already. Pretty game. It's a little more on the like exploratory third person with subtle puzzles kind of stuff. Oh, they are? Yeah. I have a list. Actually, I have a list. Yeah, I already own that one, State of Mind, on Steam. I have not had a chance to actually play it yet, but it's definitely on my list. Speaking of lists, but I was saying that I've compiled a list of publishers that do focus exclusively or primarily on point-and-click adventure games, and those are the ones I'm going to be approaching here once I have at least a small vertical slice to demo to them, and hopefully bring some on board. The nice thing, though, is that budget-wise, my game is going to be on the much smaller side, because the IP that I'm using, I have access to the original voice and stuff like that, so and the music. So most of the budget will go literally to art and animation. You found another website for bundles with a different payment method, so I can send you a link if you want. For bundles? Okay. Yeah, okay. Let me see. But anyways, so, I mean, absolutely ton. And some of these look really fun. Fire looks really cute. Oh, Fanatical. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. I'm aware of Fanatical. Yeah. Yeah, I was... what were they before, too? Fanatical took over what they were before. But yeah, trust me. Yeah. Just for the fun of it, I go, Fanatical. Oops. And this one. Yeah. As a matter of fact, well, I mean, let's just say I have not used Fanatical in a really long time. I just looked at my emails, and I have not made a purchase at Fanatical since 11:30 this morning. So yeah, no. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 Fanatical purchases just since February 20th. Okay, so yeah, no, absolutely. I actually, yeah, I'm not sure which one I'd say I'm a bigger fan of, but I love their bundles. And Fanatical, it has had a VR one too recently. Yeah, the Ultimate VR bundle. So I did that one. I ended up doing it twice too, because the jerks, they did it right, and I got a group of them. I think I did like 4 for 16, right, for 4 VR games, including Star Trek, which is absolutely fantastic. But then they added more games. Then I had to go back and do a second purchase to pick up a couple more. But yeah, absolutely love Fanatical. Crap, I can't remember what they were called before. It was another game website, and when they got bought out by Fanatical, at first I was just lamenting it, kind of going, yeah, this is going to totally suck now. But then it turned out to be like absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's still the same, so I'm totally happy. And I think actually this is where I mentioned the fact I picked up some Blender books. I think I actually did it from here, from the Fanatical site. Really, you do the Viveport thing? I never played time. Yeah. At least this way, in theory, I at least have time, right? You know, I mean, I can come back and do whatever I want. I think that was one of the key reasons why I don't have a subscription thing. Are you trying to help out? Hey, look at that. Oh, I'm not going to try and pronounce that one. We'll just say NFJ. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, man. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. How's it going? So I've completely gone off the rails here in the sense of, like, I'm just, like, not being productive, but I'm just being sociable at this point because I'm way past. Normally I'm out by this point anyways, but when we start talking TV shows and games, yeah, I'm game for sure. Pardon the pun. But yeah, okay, I could do this. What's up? Welcome, man. Welcome, welcome. So, just give you a little context since you just jumped in here. So, the people I'm talking to have been seeing this way too much anyways. So, this is a cutscene I'm working on for my upcoming game called Triple Troubles, which, there you go. I have not done my plug yet, so here you go. Here's the gratuitous plug. Triple Troubles is a site that we may not heard from. Okay, I'll think of something. So Tribbles actually come from the classic Star Trek television show. And I actually have a license that allows me to use the Tribble name and likeness. And so it's basically going to be a vertical climbing game coming up pretty soon, hopefully. And this is one of the cutscenes that sort of advances the plot. And then the Tribble basically gets caught on a ship eating their food. That's what Tribbles do. And gets beamed into the planet, and you play as the Tribble trying to climb your way up to safety. Which, do I have? Oh, there it is. There you go. There's the old Tribble game. Did I just bring the right one? Yeah. Okay, anyways. So, that's the context, but then I get my friends here that chat with me, and I get totally derailed, and we start talking about video games and TV and film, that kind of stuff. Oh, but yeah, I was gonna, like, this is kind of sad and depressing, but, let's see, I'm not sure where it's gonna show up here, if it's gonna pop up right in the middle. Alright, I'll put over there. So if I go, library. Let's see, how do I... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but, this is my Steam page here. But, yeah, I am now over 1,000 games. 1,067 to be precise. It's just... Oh god, it's embarrassing. But yeah, you can see the new purchases here. This is all from Fanatical, like we were just talking about. There you go. Hey, Triple Troubles, I heard a good thing about that one. How many have I actually played? Yeah, if I'm lucky, 2%. And it's just, I keep trying to find the time, right? Yeah, it is a challenge. I mean, that's the irony is the more I get into developing games, the less time I actually have to play them. You know, but I'm hoping once I get Tribbles out there, I can hopefully make a little more time. But yeah, it's every now and then I'll like try and oh here, okay, you wanted a website here. I got a great one for you. How long to beat game. This is my go-to. So when I decide I'm going to make time to play a game, this is so sad and pathetic, but I actually come to this website called howlongtobeat.com, and I research how long the game is going to take to finish. And if it's yeah, you use that one too, because if it's too long, I go, you know what, I'm not going to be able to finish it. I won't have the time, right? So I'll do that. I'll actually go check. Oh god, I'm not gonna. I'm okay. I'm gonna totally move on. No idea what you're talking about. But let's see. Let's see. Yeah, now I'm totally off my track here. So, for example, if you come back to the bundles that we're just looking at, it was the spring one. This is one I just bought today. Yeah, so like here, I was just out of curiosity, like the Ponia. So if I bring those up, and boom, I can just instantly look and get a sense of how long these point-and-click adventure games. And for me, this is also, God, someone put some new text up because I'm still seeing Lucini's comment, and that just completely threw me off my game here. But no, this is also great research for me because I'm trying to judge, how long my point-and-click adventure game should be to fall in that realm. And 10 hours is the general, I think that's the sweet spot for point-and-click adventure games. I don't know, depending on if I do actually get someone, like a Daedalus or something like that to actually back me, then I'll probably do the whole game at once. But if that's not happening, I'm still self-funding, then I'll probably break it up into chapters, at which point then maybe like 5 and be like 2 hours each. Yeah, I think you're right too. I mean the 30-hour games are a bit of a past memory for sure. But yeah, I think 10 is just about right. I think if you get less than that, then people start to complain, right? It's too short, right? Need a more game, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, hopefully I can do it. So now that I actually have the Oculus Quest, thanks to my lovely wife, part of me also wants to play some of those PC games, right? Just wired up to it. Specifically the bridge, the Star Trek one. So that's been, maybe it's because I'm old and time is more valuable. Yeah, I'm the same way too. I mean, I talked about previously, but my college days for sure, right? College more so than high school, because when I was in high school, we were playing Commodore 64 games, so the games didn't have much to them anyways, right? To quote Grand Theft Auto 3 on the radio when he says, with our brand new game where the red square chases the blue square, or another game where the blue square chases the green square. That was pretty much my high school gaming right there, right? So in college, I definitely delved into it and played way too much, way too long, and I got the GPA to show for it. Yeah, but I digress. But yeah, no, it is sort of unfortunate that the older you get, I think the more stuff that's going on and the harder it is to make the time. But yeah, I would love to do that. That's the only thing I've been playing recently is with the headset, and I think by its very nature too, because I don't know about you guys if you've played with a VR headset, but the Quest in particular is really front heavy, right? And it's kind of obvious when I go downstairs and I say hello to my wife, and she'll look at me and she goes, "Oh yeah, you were playing with your VR, weren't you?" Because she sees the ring around my face where it's this indent, right? But I mean, it that by its very nature, kind of like after an hour at most, you go, you know what, I gotta stop, Which is funny because I thought the main issue would probably be motion sickness, right? That's always the biggest concern with VR, but you don't have a VR headset? I was really dubious at first of the Quest 2, but to me, that is the first headset that I think is going to... I picked up like a $30 knockoff strap from Amazon, and it works really well. So it alleviates that for the most part. Excuse me. But yeah, so to me, the Quest 2 is the first VR headset that actually made me consider the idea of doing something in VR. And as a matter of fact, actually, yeah, what I probably will do is the next game I'm working on, is going to be a 3D point-and-click adventure game. So I may do a thing where actually I do a free VR experience, right? Where you can go onto the main set, so to speak, of this of the item in this game. It's sci-fi, so I can say the ship. You can go in the ship and walk around it, right? So that would be pretty awesome, and I would put that out for free, right? So for fans of this IP, it's going to be fantastic for them because they can experience this kind of thing. And then for someone that's new, it would be an opportunity for them to sort of get introduced to it. And then it's like, by the way, this is what's going to be coming in this upcoming video game. So get excited and, get on board. So, and it won't be a major time investment because it's going to be more or less just setting up the walking components and that kind of thing. But yeah, I was really, $299, right, for the less expensive model. And the thing that I was most impressed about is the tracking. The tracking is phenomenal. It's so wild that the fact that you don't have, like the Vive, you don't have the lighthouses, right? You can just sit there and let it find the environment and it just locks in perfectly, right? No matter how much you're whipping your head around, it's just amazingly accurate. It's in a VR environment you made yourself. I have not done that yet, right? I have not done that yet. And, that's right, you're doing the Western, right? That's absolutely totally cool. And I hope you do. I hope you pursue it, and I hope it gets a little more serious than just kind of goofing around. Maybe if you get into it more, you either go one of two ways. You either kind of like, I'm past it, or you get completely sucked in and you want to do it like every waking moment. I tend to be the latter category, which is why I'm doing this. But yeah, the idea of doing that, and I would actually like to make a component that allows you to walk in place. I hate the walking component that you see in the VR games, right? Where you have to like point and like hit the button and you just suddenly jump forward. I think what I have in my head, and we'll see if I can get the chance to do this like I'm thinking this project, the idea of having a component where you hit the button to sort of indicate if you want to go forward or backward, right? And at that point, then it tracks your body motion, right? And your hand swings, right? And it's able to guesstimate your walking gait based on your height, right? And it would just be a more natural experience, right? If you're just stepping in place but moving, trust me, I've done that in games that just let you just sort of like float across the ground. If you just walk in place, it is a much more natural experience. So, we'll see if I can pull that off. Don't know. But that's cool, man. That's awesome that you're doing that. But the whole point, too, is the fact that I think Quest 2, because it is $300, right? I think that's the first VR headset that has mass appeal potential, right? And I think, it's still lacking the killer app that makes it that everyone has to have it, but there's definitely some fantastic games in there. Yeah, I've seen mods where you move the hand swings like that. I was, I think it was like a Skyrim mod. It felt great. Oh, okay. Cool, so I'm not pushing any envelopes there. So that has been done. Yeah. So, looking forward to that. All the stuff. And once again, all this on top of also the paying animation jobs, right? Which I'm going to be doing here later tonight. That, once again, that is why I'm not spending 40 hours a week playing video games as much as I'd love to, because I still have this really bad habit of sleeping. Like, I'm talking like almost like every night I have to sleep. It's just, God, such a waste of time. Simple setup process. Yeah, it is. Just as long as people don't get like all upset and bent out of shape over the whole Facebook thing, right? There are some people that like freak out over the Facebook registration. That bugs them, But if you can get past that hurdle, then I absolutely agree. It's a fantastic tool. And there's a ton of stuff too that you can do on it for free too. The Mars rover, right? They had a 360 experience which you could do just on a regular computer screen, right, with a mouse. But to do the Mars rover in that 360 environment was pretty awesome. All right, I'm gonna go in closer for this guy. I'm gonna finish this. I'm serious. I'm gonna finish this before I call it. Let's see. So unless you guys keep talking games, I'm going to be productive here for a few more minutes. I'm sure Penny's totally pissed now. She's like, what the hell? I mean, we're way past frisbee time now. Oh, I hear her. She heard the F word. I hear her walking in the hallway. Oh, she's under my door. She's just outside the door. I can see her shadow. Alright. So, yeah, I gotta finish so I can keep her entertained. She's a very spoiled dog. Alright, just kind of boom, boom. A little further. Start to come down. There, that should be enough. Actually, I think I might go back up here. What do we say here? Nope. Nope. That does not work. How about there? Yeah, I'm going to nitpick this last thing to death. Yeah. Alright. You failed to distract me, guys. I still managed to finish this, I think. Let's see. I'll put the audio back on for one last play. Here we go.
Ah, look who's here. You are a resilient little piece of fur. But playtime is over.
Sir, you should really be careful of that.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Well, shut it down.
Love to comply, sir, but you just toasted the controls for it.
All hands to escape shuttles.
Well, you really KM'd that one, sir.
There you go. Let's see. I did. Just shoot it. Just shoot it. Yep. So then, yeah. So obviously, what happens is the tribble jumps away here, and I get all kinds of Z depth issues once again because I haven't bashed it enough. I mean, if we look at the side here. Oops. Let me go. Yeah, you can send another link. That is cool. So, yeah, so look at this. The tribble is way back here in the background, right? Way back here in the background. You can see that she's way up here in the front, and yet Maya still sucks bad enough that it puts the tribble in front here. Why? Because Maya sucks. Seriously. I mean, obviously they do not care anything about Z-depth on alpha object textures, right? That's just annoying as hell. But anyways. A, don't shoot it. B, shoots it. Tries to shoot it. So the idea here is, once I drop it into Unity, I'll add this. So, he shoots it. The tribble jumps away, right? And so he ends up shooting the computer, which initiates a self-destruct sequence, which, how many times do we see that, especially on Star Trek, right?
Really be careful of
So then tribble just jumps away.
that.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Well, shut it down.
Yeah. So then you know, she taps the screen there, and they beam away to the escape shuttles, and then you go on to the fourth and final world, right? Which puts you in the belly of the ship, trying to shut down the self-destruct before the timer goes out. But anyways, let me do this one more time. Just make sure. Control S. Woohoo! Finally. That one took longer than I wanted, but that's okay. I will have the fourth and final cutscene set up by next week and get started on that. And it's a bit shorter too. I don't think it's nearly as long as this one, so hopefully it won't take as long. And they're both seated, right? They're in the escape shuttle, so they're both sitting there in the escape shuttle. Excuse me. Although I may put actually a couple of the red shirt security guys in there too, because there's 4 seats in the shuttle. Yeah. I'll give you a sneak preview of that. See if we can find it. Images. Spaceship. Oh, maybe I don't have it. I might have it tucked away in a PSD. Have to dig it out. Do a quick search, and if not, that's a sign that it's time to call it. It's thinking about it. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, well, I'll have it for Monday. I will be working on the 4th one. So that's it. So here's the game plan for anyone that actually cares. So once again, you can actually play the game. Hopefully I'll send out an update. I'll finish 3. I'll get it plugged into Unity, and then I'll send out an update. So the version that's available now on Steam, totally free, costs you nothing. You can play the current build of it, which is the full game minus a couple bells and whistles, high scores, missions, secondary missions. It's free. It's free. Act now. Yes, with limited seating. Call now. But yeah, so yeah, I'll have this plugged in, and so I got to finish the 4th one, implement the mission stuff, which, like I said, is mainly just coming up with what you have to earn to unlock the outfits. Leaderboard, that'll take a little more time, but so the objective here is have all the cutscenes put in place and put in the Steam version, and the missions. And then I'm going to start looking at curators and start looking at influencers and all that kind of fun stuff. In other words, marketing. I'm going to start properly, hopefully going to the marketing stuff on that and get more word out so I can get more people back in it, get interested in it. So once I get it out the door, I can actually, I don't know, sell copies. There's a crazy idea. But, all right. So is it 3 o'clock yet? Yeah, my 1 hour went. Look at that. You guys managed to keep me around for 2 hours and 18 minutes. That's poor Pet. I know. I think she's still on the other side of the door. Should we find out? Let's see. All right. Well, I will call it a day here. Oh, look at that. So damn hungry. Just did a follow. Thank you so much. So damn hungry. Welcome, welcome. You're just in time for me to say thank you and goodbye. Thank you so much for coming by, and thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. So I will have all that plugged in. So there'll be an updated version on Steam this weekend that you guys can download for free. For free. Just show the new follow around. All right. Okay, fine. Fine. I'll play the game for a brief moment. How about that? Here you go. Let's go to the... Oh, I'll just start at the main menu. I won't go through the whole opening cutscene stuff, so we'll just leave that. And I'll leave the audio off for a second. Actually, I won't, because I'll do the opening cutscene. So, turn the audio on. All right. Should I play with keyboard or should I play with joystick? Let's see, is the joystick even plugged in? Nope, joystick's not plugged in. Yep. All right, keyboard. There you go. We'll play casual. Here we go.
Captain's log, 5392.3. We're concluding our survey of the planet Core-2, a vibrant planet that will soon be completely consumed by its own volcanic core. We'll be departing after we finish retrieving our survey equipment from the planet's surface. Number 1.
Yes, Captain?
What was that?
It looks like a tribble, sir.
What's it doing on my ship?
Looks like it's feasting on our Quadrotriticale.
Ah! Engineering!
Aye, sir.
Scanners show a tribble on my ship!
Aye, sir.
Great. Lock onto that fur ball and beam it into the center of that planet!
But, sir...
Now! No!
I believe engineering was trying to mention that it couldn't get a lock on just the tribble. But I'm guessing that you figured that out. Well played, sir. Well played.
There you go. So that helps set the story, and then, oops, missions not available yet, but like I said, it's all plugged in. I just have to sort of decide what you have to achieve to unlock the different outfits. And it was suggested to me, and I actually agree with this, is I'm going to expand this menu so you can actually like exit back to the main menu, or maybe even do the character outfit change. Yeah, it is. It is sort of my loving tribute to Portal. I love, it's a total ripoff of Portal. I love the fact that Still Alive, when you come to the main menu, plays like the elevator music version of Still Alive. So much so that literally that's the ringtone on my phone is the music version of Still Alive. But yeah, that's good. That's very good discovery on your part. That's true. Yeah, I took the original song. No. There is like the triumphant theme song, but no. But yeah, this is basically I took the original that my musician, fantastic job on that, created for me, and I doctored it so it has that radio kind of sound to it. Anyways, I'm not playing, am I? All right. Oh shoot. Wait, why am I on 4? I got it hard-coded right now, I think. Uh-oh. I'm jumping right into level 4, which I shouldn't. Which must mean that I was doing debugging, and I have some hard-code values set up. So let me undo that. You see how I was really well prepared to play game controller. Let's check for hard codes here. Yep, right here. That's right, because I was fixing the bug that was found. It was a kind of obscure one, but I was addressing that. And I think that's the only thing that I have hard-coded at the moment. Yep, we're good. Now we gotta let it build again. Takes forever. Just so impatient. Alright. And now we're good. There we go. Alright.
Captain's log.
Skip through that this time. And now, there we go. And then the Glommers, for anyone just tuning in for the first time, the orange guys, the Glommers came out of the animated Star Trek show. Glommers were invented by Klingons, genetically engineered. Look what I've done. Yeah, you don't apologize to me. Apologize to Penny. She's the one that's getting pissed right now. But we had the time change, so we have a little more sunlight. And I'm in Vegas, which means that it's still like 80 degrees outside already. Right, is that too loud? I'll dial it down a little bit if that's drowning me out. There you go. Just pull it down a little bit. Alright. Yeah, so, and then the cans of food, collect 5 of them, and you'll get a heart back. If you have all your hearts filled up, then you get like 50 gem bonus. And a portal opens up randomly. It allows you to really rack up on the gems. Like so. They are, if you watch, you know what, here. Stop. There it goes. So the grain, right, from the original episode, the grain that they're eating is called quadrotriticale, right? So triticale actually exists, but if you put quadro in front of it, then it's sci-fi. So that's it. This is, so I have tribbles, I have glommers, and I have quadrotriticale are the 3 things that I'm allowed to reference. So, but yeah, that's it. So it came from the original episode. Oh, was that an earlier discussion? Did I miss that? Oh, I just took damage. Oh. Yeah, the other alien creatures that you see, those are things that were sort of like invented, kind of inspired by the animated Star Trek series, which had a lot more alien creatures to it. But yeah, that's it. I'll do one more. So you have to collect the gems as fast as you can, because you can see the lava starts rising on you. Like that. There you go. And we finished. And you get out of there. And then you can use your gems to buy some power-ups. So you have access to shields as well as sonic attacks. There you go. And that is one of 16 levels. Obviously the early levels are a lot easier and friendlier. And I'm also playing on the more casual mode, so it's a bit easier to play. But there you go. All right, guys. I think we're good. There you go. I think we're done for the week. Yes, but that's only because I've been playing it for 2 years straight now. Thanks, Killer Tofu. Thank you so much. You as well. He's literally paid for playing though. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, you guys have yourself a fantastic weekend. Killer Tofu, next week I expect to see some early VR mock-ups of what you got for the Western game. No pressure. Or at least tell me that you've seen Once Upon a Time. Not yet. At least try and find the time. It's a long movie, right? It's like almost 3 hours long, but oh my god, it flies. It flies by. Of course, I have a hard time, if you come back and you say you've watched it, I have a hard time not giving away spoilers, because there's just so many great moments in that damn movie. There's just so many great moments. But, alright guys, that'll do it. I am going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for everyone hanging out, all the great conversation. Thank you so much, Lucini, Killer Tofu, everyone that was chatting it up. I do appreciate it. Check out that Fanatical website. Oh, hey, I'll take a look at that. God, they've already, like, owned me so hard, so much. What were they called before, though? I'll have to dig that up. But, yeah, you have video of my gameplay. There you go. I have a link next week if you would like. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to check it out. Yeah. Yeah, you as well, man. Thank you so much. Thanks all you guys for hanging out. And let's do it. Should we do the cameo? Here we go. Yep, I see shadows. She's still waiting. The big penny reveal. Here it comes. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Yep. Yep. Sorry. Did I forget my time today? Frisbee? Frisbee? Come here, Frisbee. Okay. Okay. Yeast. God, what have you been eating? I don't want to know the answer to that question. I retract it. There you go. One last virtual version. Oh, and it goes to black. Look at that. Perfect timing. All right, I'm going to go in the backyard and do it for real. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'll be back on Monday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. GMT. Yeah, that's why all you guys show up here. That's why you come in the last minute, just so you can see the penny cameo. But yeah, until then, you guys have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and I will see you guys soon. And please, feel free to download the game in the meantime, or join me on Discord. But until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic one, and I will see you all soon. Adios.